Exercise just makes him more alert.
Okay. Oh, I forgot about Fredbot. Gotta put him in.
Freddie D.
What do the people want? Fredbot.
Yo, what's good, you bro?
Need Fredbot.
Yo, thanks for the invite, but nah, I can't do nothing.
Hey, your mic's on over there, Greg.
Whoa there, Tiger. Whoa there.
Greg lives a wild life. I mean, I want that, I want the hot mic. Hot mic has brought down on many. Hot mic has brought many people down. Exact for the hot mic. They watch just for the hot mics.
Most of my hot mic stuff, I've switched to text message lately.
Stream is on, by the way.
That's even worse.
Your mics are hot, dude.
Oh, you gotta learn Negro technology, Greg. We don't use nothing that can be printed.
You better get your voice memo. Send a voice memo and don't allow the ability to save that shit. Like Snapchat and iMessage.
Oh, I don't care about text. Listen, my text can come out. I don't text nothing that's like crazy.
Once again,
pictures of your penis.
Mics are hot. Once again, just gonna.
I'll text that
crazy. Like, I feel like you guys heard me say it the first time, but then you guys kept going, so I don't know.
You need a dump button, Brian, like the radio. A 7-second delay in a dump.
I can put delay if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. Y'all can be adults. Be adults.
Oh yeah, man. You think adult radio stations say that, Brian? No, they don't. Why? It's the FCC, Brian.
The FCC won't let me be me. I'm gonna stop it right there.
Exactly.
Also, shout out to Maverick Carter for dumping that episode of The Shop.
Because, yeah, good move.
Noriega's dumbass went ahead and put
that dude, I can't believe he really just went and did it. I'm like, bro, are you not paying attention to anything? Like, why would you do that? Like,
and then didn't give. So Kanye went on The Shop earlier this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember they stopped that from coming out or something like that. What?
Yeah. They dumped the episode.
Did he go?
So basically, Maverick was like, "Yeah, I talked to him on the phone. He promised me he wasn't going to do that shit. He showed up and did that shit anyways."
Talking about Nori?
No, that was Maverick.
Well, yeah. This is Maverick first because he went on The Shop earlier this week. So yesterday it comes out that Noriega interviewed him on his podcast Drink Champs, and it dropped last night. And dog, yeah, good on Spring Hill for getting out of the way from that shit.
Kanye was really on some other shit, man. Like,
what was he? He say anti-Semitic shit the whole time?
Not only that, this motherfucker went on there pushing the whole George Floyd died from fentanyl. The cop's knee wasn't even on his neck bullshit.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I watched Candace Owens' documentary, and blah 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 blah."
Y'all think it's a complete you think it's a mix between selling out just because he become a billionaire and he feels like there's a way he can continue to make his money, or y'all think it's just completely mental health issues with him? Just what he believes in. It's no mental health issues. It's just what he believes.
I think people don't value enough how fragile that man's ego is, and like everybody talks about all these big things about his life and shit. But I think one of the biggest moments that people don't really bring up is Obama calling him an asshole or Jack.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that happened.
Ever since then,
actually, that was around the same time as everything happened.
Michelle can't come out. You see my girl pic on the internet? Michelle can't do that. Kanye's saying a bunch of dumb shit too.
Yeah.
And then,
but it's man. I just don't. I don't see the play.
There's no play. There is no.
There isn't one.
I can't see either, Chris. I don't see how you pivot. I don't see what what exit off the turnpike you're taking here.
Well, I think it works because one, like people, young people and stuff like that are just like, yo, I don't care. I'm gonna still buy his sneakers because he got hot sneakers. I'm gonna still buy his clothes.
Yeah, but they would have done that anyways.
But for that, you're depending on the culture, and what you're doing right now is disconnecting yourself from the culture.
No,
And the
but
culture
that's the
that you
thing.
are connecting yourself to doesn't buy luxury goods.
Well, the thing is, right? I don't think that people care. I really think they're like, oh, he's got hot stuff. I'm buying it. I don't care what he says. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I think people shouldn't think like that, but I think that's just what it is. They don't care if he says, all this stuff about black people, about Jews, and disrespects everybody, and is just a horrible person. They're just like, oh, he's got cool clothes, so I'm gonna wear his clothes. I'm gonna buy his clothes. And I'm gonna fucking financially support the dude. I don't think he's gonna lose any money off of it. And I think he endears himself to a conservative base. And some rich conservatives, people with money, they do buy Yeezys. Now the poor dumb ones don't buy.
And last time on.
The other thing that I thought was maybe he hit his number. Maybe he is at the point where he has checked out the game. I'm not trying to advance any further. Whatever I can get off, I can get off. I'm just going to be 100% apologetically me. And maybe this is just who he is.
Very good chance. Last time on the Shadows Echo, the Misfits rounded out their journey, headed to Sethret, made some last-minute preparations, and after checking in to inform, as a group deciding to dock the newly named Starburst in the waterways around Sethret behind their territory, they made last preparations and arrived that night in the cover of darkness, having alerted Oriana of their arrival to have the dock area completely clear, and returned finally to Sethret to find a ragged, very slightly different Oriana, Logan, and Stavon than you left them. They insisted on getting back to Pocket Aces before having any conversations. As you walk through the streets of your district, it was very changed. Conservative looks, everyone being very clear to show they weren't threats, had no weapons, meant no harm. They were very formal and acknowledging of Stavon, Oriana, and Logan. And those three were very careful crossing corners, going through alleys. Very alert, hands always close to weapons. Very ready for immediate danger at a drop of a pin. Upon getting to Pocket Aces, you noticed that it was cleared out. A lot of the sight lines had been improved. There was a lot of visible damage to the building on the inside from what must be previous battles. And upon talking with the three of them, they informed you how hard it has been the past 24 days since you all been gone. Originally, constant fights every day, numbers growing of combatants. Eventually, they figured out that these mercenaries are being funded by one Avasarala out of Riskwib via the personal grudge she still holds with you all. And because of her backing, almost an unlimited amount of bodies are being thrown at your districts, which didn't begin until you left. Logan, Stavon, and Oriana took it upon themselves to begin attacking the mercenary guilds directly outside of the arena in the cover of night, making it very clear that anyone who attacks them, they will be attacked in turn the next day. They have, as I told you, killed many, many people. And they have made it clear that they are extremely dangerous. They even went so far as to invite anyone challenging them to bring greater and greater numbers in the fights instead of just one more than they were bringing. They won every fight. Oriana has a new scar, which was, she alluded to, being given to her from Logan. As they mentioned, they were hesitant to bring anyone else to the fights but the three of them because they have the Logan issue. But they are alive. They are weathered. They are more dangerous than they were because they've had to be. Logan went back to his district. Midas saw that he went under the guard of 2 hobgoblins, who flaked him on his way out. Oriana went up to her room, as did the majority of the Misfits. And Midas was called over to the bar by the new bartender, who introduced himself as a gentleman and a bastard. And that's where we left off. Is there anything I left out that you all like to mention? I feel like there was in the beginning that I forgot something, the first half of that session.
We gave props to Samson for being such a great name comer-upper.
The Starburst?
Yeah. Starburst, the Misfits, all Samson.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Harriet.
I don't think we can't give props to him. I think we just, respected everything.
Harriet Heskin found information on Avasarala. So Laura broke the wards around one of her eggs when she was on Spice looking at the moon and the eggs, and used the Arcane Bane arrow to do so. But I do believe that was all of note.
Can I get a check on how many days it's been, or
how far out your meeting is?
Yeah.
The Black Order was going to arrive. I'm going to say the Black Order was supposed to arrive 2 days after you got to Sethret, and the Light of the Lost was going to arrive 4 days behind that.
Okay.
So in 2 days, the Black Order comes. In 6 days, Light of the Lost comes.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem. Any other questions or reminders for any of the characters?
What time is it?
Everyone's going to sleep. It's nighttime. You guys arrived in the cover of night.
Yeah. All right.
The last thing that we did though is he introduced himself, and then I said I forget whatever, but I was just sitting there. Did I leave?
No, we ended at the beginning of that conversation.
Okay.
Simply him. I forgot. He is Galdo Sanez. Sorry, Galdo Sanza. So we'll pick up there.
Oh,
as
okay.
Go ahead, Chris.
So telepathic bond is still up, right? Without Tana, Logan,
Oriana, Logan, and Stefan. It will be up from the boat. Yeah. It's the end of the day, and you all are going to sleep, but I believe it would still be up if you casted it right before getting off the boat.
Right.
Okay,
cool. Said you were about to say something?
No.
Okay. Samson wants to say, in the telepathic thing, as he's heading to the room.
Yes.
It's clear that a lot's gone on since we left. We must remember that they're here to help us. Can't fall into any this is their territory type shit. We have to be gentle with, reintegrating ourselves into the group. They're clearly on it.
Wise words.
And at the bar, Galdo had just finished saying that you all have a mutual friend, and that I'm both a gentleman and a bastard, as he shakes your hand.
Shake his hand. All right. What's this thing about bartenders?
Well, I find bartending is one of the easiest professions to observe a crowd, read a room, learn patterns.
Very true. I agree with you, actually. Very true. People say shit in front of bartenders.
People say lots of things in front of bartenders, especially after a few pints.
All right. How often do you talk to friend? I mean, how you guys communicate? You got like a network, or you actually directly communicate with them?
We have our ways of communication.
Okay.
Rather efficient, I think.
Got you. All right. A bit do you do?
Just a moment. I feel you should know that I had to replace the former bartender. Their loyalties were for sale and were being sold.
The former bartender's loyalty. Did they? What were they? What kind of information were they getting?
I'm not
Do you know
sure
if
exactly what they were selling, but I do believe they are who let Adversarial know when your lot left.
Thank you.
Generally, it is a bit frowned upon to inform on friends, and they were double dipping. This is especially frowned upon.
Yeah. When you said you replaced him, is he no longer existing, or should I go find him and chop his head off?
Oh no, I believe your friend saw to that already.
Okay. Oh, so they already know.
Oh yes. I just figured they'd probably forget to tell you. It was a while ago.
So Vice is gonna excuse me, and he says in his head to the group, last bartender was selling information. He's the one who told Avasarala that we left. Oriana and them already took care of him. They found out on their own. But yeah, that's why we have a new bartender.
All right. I guess I should get with that tailor and get Tristan out here. That way we can have a tailor that he would recommend. That's
Travis.
here in front of me. Yeah, Travis the tailor would recommend. That way, that's another ear in front of the people.
All right.
Galdo says,
Right,
last thing, my brother's working at Logan's place as well, so we have it generally covered in your headquarters.
Huh. Nice.
Any further
Brother.
expansion, you have to see to your own interviews.
Yes. Understood. How did who trains you guys? Does Locke train you himself?
No. We don't work for Locke. We are compatriots, peers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys must have people that work for you. You, Locke. Do you train yourself, or do you have like a network going on there?
Oh no, we in the con game. You want to keep your circle small. We work amongst ourselves. We don't have underlings.
Got you. Wow. All right.
He nods.
Nice to meet you, Galdo.
He tips a imaginary hat to you, and he says, "It's great to see you again. You've grown up nice and strong."
Again. And Midas nods and smiles, and then walks off upstairs to bed.
He nods and finishes closing up what little he had open in the bar.
Huh. Nice to see me again. New young Midas.
As you all go to your rooms, they are as you left them. Have got a bit of dust on things as it's been a little while. But your rooms were undisturbed. I will say that Theron would have gone back to the boat to sleep. As he does not have a room here. Though there was one available for him should he want it. But he felt it was best to spend the first night at least on the boat. And he has no issue moving unseen through the streets.
All right.
But as you all find rest in what may or may not be a comfortable environment at the moment, but a long rest comes for all of you without issue. The morning rises. You all eventually make your way down at some point. Galdo has prepared breakfast and has it out ready. Oriana, depending on what time anyone comes down, Oriana is most likely the first one up and downstairs, as is Stevan. So if you all didn't get up ridiculously early, you will come down to see them downstairs eating already.
Samson is going to get up ridiculously early.
Yeah, I was about to say Midas is excited.
Well, you do need your 8 hours, but
Yeah.
I thought it was like 6 hours of sleep, 2 hours of really not doing it.
8 hours total. You got it's 8 hours of long rest. Generally, we cut that for 8 hours of sleeping. If someone's doing a watch, that's where the difference is. If there's no watch, it's just a straight 8.
All right, cool. So yeah, the very end of my 8, I'm up.
Okay. They're still going to beat you down.
That's fine. I just want to be down early.
Okay. So it seems like, I guess, all of you are crack of dawn making your way down as you have the full day ahead of you and not to, waste any time.
And I want to see what time it is.
Well,
Check my watch.
You, well, assuming, we'll say it's a little before 8 o'clock. We'll put you at like 7:50 or 7:45.
Okay.
What do you
I come
do?
down. I come down, and for the icebreaker, I guess, is everybody down here?
Yep, exit down there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I come down. And I say, of course, you guys are here before us. This has become kind of a tradition to start our days. And he pulls out the scroll with the scry guy. He places it on the table.
Oriana looks curiously at it. Let me see if they know what this is. And I gotta pull up their character sheets. Haven't needed them in a while.
I think this was a good icebreaker.
Good job, diplomatic Samson.
That's that prime training.
Mm-hmm. Because, we really are in murky waters here. Shit could go left easily if Logan has a bad day.
You guys are so paranoid.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, once again, say I've given you no reason to be. Okay.
You say so.
I'm not worried about Logan.
I do say so.
I'm not worried about Logan. And specifically, I'm just worried about their edginess, and we know how strong and dangerous these people are.
Gotcha.
And I don't know. They're like, oh, they came back on some bullshit.
Fair enough. You put the scroll on the table, and Oriana looks at it, clearly not knowing what it is. Stevan raised an eyebrow. Actually, I'm surprised you all have that. Where did you actually come upon it?
Obviously, he's still talking. I'm sorry.
Where did you actually come upon it? He nods and kind of waits a moment to see if you're going to say more.
Oh, what was his name? Midas, what was his name?
Double bite.
Something hook. Yeah, double bite. Double bite. It was double bite.
Double bite.
Midas, when he says that, he slowly turns his head and looks at Stevan in his eyes.
Stevan's eyes for a moment go a little wide before he reins in the expression.
Oh shit, that was his homie, right? Fuck. See, that's what I'm talking about. They came back with some bullshit.
Double bite was his homie?
There's been no mention that Double Bite was his homie.
Okay. He could have been, but I don't think we know.
Say again, Samson?
No, I was saying, Chris was saying I thought he was.
Okay.
I thought that was mentioned.
Gotcha. He look of surprise, and then studies all of your faces and nods.
I'd like to roll perception on that.
Okay.
Hold on.
Insight is what you want.
Insight?
Mm.
I'm opening up D&D Beyond, the app. Yeah.
They ain't paying us,
Stop
bro.
this. Yeah, stop this.
Insight. 18.
18. He believes you. You can tell on his face that he studied all of yours to see if this is a joke, to see if you're just dropping a big name.
No, that's not what I'm looking for, though.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the reaction to hearing Devil Bites Snake.
Acknowledge.
Well,
right, so the reaction to hearing his name is he knows who Devil Bite is. He's fully aware of his status, his rank, him being a pilot, and him having a flying ship. Like it's full acknowledgement of I know exactly who they just said, and I believe them when they say they took this from him. And and he nods and he says, "Actually, that is impressive to steal from such a pirate."
We didn't just steal from him.
Oh.
We stole his life.
Samson would be aware that you did not see that man die.
Huh?
Samson would be aware that you didn't. I'm gonna let you can take it back if you want. You are aware you did not see Devil Bite die.
Can we drop off the fucking ship?
He didn't fall off
Not
the
see
ship.
Devil Bite die.
Samson says, we stole his life.
Okay.
Dropped him off his fucking ship.
Okay. His eyes go legitimately wide and he leaves him there. And he leans forward and he says, "Actually, that is quite the claim to make, young Samson." And he just leans in and is looking at you, trying to read you, trying to see if you're serious. And he looks at you.
Oh, I'm 100% serious.
Then he looks at everyone else. Is everyone in accord? Like, is anyone's reaction like, that's not what happened? Are you all openly reacting to this, or are you all letting Samson say what he's saying? I guess is my question.
Midas is about to butt in. So he says that. He says,
Okay, so as he's looking, he looks at you. As he's looking face to face.
He says, "We dropped him off his ship," and that's all Midas says.
You don't think he's dead?
I don't know. I mean, this is the second time we dropped him off the ship.
He kind of leans
Came
back.
first.
Well, the first time he still had his dragon homegirl.
No, he didn't.
So then this is the third time we've dropped him off the ship. Remember, Assad did it too.
We dropped him off with this dragon homegirl. She died and he plummeted, and then he wound up back on his ship.
Stevan is just looking person to person, looking at this conversation. He's still a little, not shell shocked, but he's taking it in, and he's looking at you guys, and you guys are traveled enough to see that he is clearly deciphering if you all are telling the truth or not right now.
If we're all what?
If you all are like lying, if you guys are telling the truth right now, or honestly having an honest conversation about what really happened.
Samson says, hold on. Samson says, "Oh, you know what? You're right. I think I was prone at that moment. I don't know. It's all foggy."
We've been through some of our own.
Go ahead, X.
What is true is that we defeated him in battle. That is what we know for certain.
And now his ship is outside.
Hey, man.
What the fuck?
And this, the eyebrows just.
Fuck up.
The eyebrows go all the way up at that.
All right, no, let me retcon that.
As Greg can tell you, some things cannot be retconned, my friend. Well, do you have any? I don't think you have any inspiration dice, do you?
Yeah.
Unless you trade.
Yeah, I actually have 2 left.
Do you? How long did I say he's going to last? I thought I capped him at a month or something.
Oh, I thought the old ones were grandfathered in.
Grandpa.
You guys always do this shit.
I didn't,
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't,
real
I
quick.
didn't use the OG ones yet.
Who's going somewhere?
OG status.
Me, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Right.
Yo, he said grandfather.
Roll a
Brian
d20.
I thought it was a rule for the ones going forward.
Roll a d20.
Brian said them. Brian said FIFO. He said first in, first out, bitch. You use them.
He said roll a d20.
Roll a d20 for me.
9. 6.
6. Roll a d4 for me.
All right, guys.
It's all good. I mean, it happened.
There's a fly flying around. Excuse me.
I got too comfortable. Like we're back
It's all
with the
good.
game.
That's what it is. So as you say that the ship's outside, Devon's eyes. Actually, that was my next question. You have the cloud scraper.
The starburst.
Stop.
He
we don't have the star.
nods
we do not have the cloud
appraisingly.
scraper because we are not allowed to have the cloud scraper. Those ships only belong to pirates.
Roll deception.
And I'm not lying because it's not mine. It's Theron's. But I will roll deception. Because Theron's the captain of it, it is the reason why he took it. So I guess I'm being deceptive.
You are being deceptive. So it's not going to be a disadvantage because it was going to be. So a straight roll.
During this, Samson's face realizes that he did it again.
Did what again?
All right.
It was just too comfortable.
Did I not make a Devon?
I'm back.
22.
22.
Hey.
So he says, he looks to you, and he looks to Samson, then he looks to X and says, will you actually tell me if that ship's outside or not? Looking at X, he says.
Looking at who?
Looking at X, he says, will you actually tell me if that ship's outside or not?
Oh, it got retcon. What ship?
It did not get retcon.
You did not.
Retcon was failed on the dice.
Yeah, I put it to the dice. Samson has said it's there, and that's now the Starburst. Midas has conventionally said you don't have it because only pirates can have flying ships.
You got what?
Midas said that you guys do not have it because only pirates can have legendary ships.
Midas touches X on the shoulder and suddenly casts guidance.
Yeah. X says, I'm not a pirate. I don't.
Or he actually, Midas doesn't even touch X on the shoulder with his hand. He leans into X a little bit. He just kind of scoots a little bit closer to him, so he's touching him, and then suddenly casts guidance.
Okay.
Yeah. And X replies, I don't have anything that's outside.
Yo, bro.
He looks at you.
Take the fork out your mouth for a second. Right?
He's keeping on Assad's legacy. As Devon looks at you and he says, he looks at all of you and kind of leans back and says, you're actually not in trouble. I am simply...
Can we take a pause real quick?
We can take a moment above the table. What's
All
up?
right.
What's up?
Didn't we have the conversation that we were coming in on the flying ship where we told him when we were coming and where we were landing?
You talked to Oriana about...
Right.
I think you told Oriana that you were coming on the ship. There's no guarantee she told him. Exactly.
It's also
You guys did pop up on the ship.
The Dreadnought.
Yeah, so you guys were with the Dreadnought. This is a different... You guys came in at the cover of night. So
Okay, I see that way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Sorry.
No, you're fine. And you guys did appear in the harbor. but it was dark.
While
and
we're
they
above
were...
the table, Michelle says if
Alright.
the person that Solar's supposed to meet shows up, then we'll have to come back to that because Young Bull's not going to sleep.
Yeah, not a problem.
That's cool. Real quick, are we mentally linked right now? Just us?
I don't know. Did you do
No,
that before you
no.
started talking, Samson? You can,
No.
because it's been a ritual. It's been something you guys do without us saying it.
But we all met.
You could have done it before
Which
coming.
minute?
You could have done it before coming downstairs, as you guys woke up and kind of came in unison.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so it is.
All right, great. So X mentally says, listen, we can let them know ship's out there, but it's leaving soon and it doesn't belong to us. Theron's going to take it. We have to give it to him so we don't lead on any more than we have to. All accord?
Well, yeah, it's true, right?
Yeah.
What did X just say? I'm sorry.
Just let them know the ship is outside. It's not really ours, and Theron's taking it.
Well, why do we need to let them know Theron's taking it? Just say
Just say-
Okay,
the captain
that's fine.
gave us a ride in.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Perfect.
That's fine.
So Stavon says, as Stavon was saying, you actually aren't in trouble. I am merely asking if you have the ship. It's quite the feat.
Well, we defeated them. With that, there are spoils of war, but we're not pirates and we're not keeping it. The ship dropped us off, yeah, but it is not ours.
Stefan's just kind of looks at you all, and he kind of picks up whatever he was drinking and drinks more of it. And
Samson says in the telepathic bond, "This is dumb. These people just fought for their lives for 24 days for us. We can tell them the truth on this."
No,
Devon.
wait, but Sam said that in our heads.
yeah, in the heads,
Mike
in the
is-
space.
Samson. Let's also remember that we can't let Stevan know everything we've done.
No, but as far as what we're all doing together, they should be in the loop.
Well, they weren't. That wasn't together.
They would be there had they not been asked to stay.
I got
Samson, I agree with you. We should be able to trust them, but there's certain things that I don't trust Devon with.
He's sworn to the pirate code. That's more important to him than us, you know. So I wish
That's
I
fair.
felt I could trust him more, but if he wasn't a pirate, I would tell him.
Stevan says, nonetheless, it's actually very impressive that you all were able to defeat Devil Bite on his own ship. A feat that,
Yes.
should you share it, would get you much accord.
And Mighty's correction says Devil Bite and a dragon.
Actually, I don't know how many would believe a dragon were there, but as I said, defeating Devil Bite would get you much accord should you share it. Oriana
But yes, we've been through some things.
nods, and Oriana says, you all have been quite busy. And she looks back at the scroll and says, what is that, by the way? And Stevan says, actually, that's the man on the moon. If you scry upon it, you get daily updates on Elestria at large. And he looks
Exactly.
He looks to you all and says, it's actually quite useful, though not many know of it.
Almost overshared. Yeah, it's been useful. So, if anybody else can scry, feel free. What we've been doing is I scry and then I relay the information of the day.
Stefan nods. Can he scry? He says, actually, the sea does not bless me with such skills.
Well, I'll have the full recap for you directly after.
Oriana holds a hand up and says, what are the plans for the day? Is it worth burning a spell on information?
Is it worth what? It's hard to hear you for some reason. Let me turn down this music.
It might be me.
Burning a spell on information.
Is it worth burning the spell on information?
What does putting the spell on information mean?
What are you planning to do on this day? I don't want to have Samson burn a spell if you are planning on any type of combat.
Oh. Gotcha.
Should we expect combat?
Oriana kind of looks at Stefan, and Stefan looks at her, and they look at you all, and they say, actually, we expect it every day. Though it does not always come. And you see, not a haunted look in their eyes, but X, you would probably be the only one who recognizes the look. It's the look of people who are used to killing, who are ready to kill at a moment's notice should they need to, and who have made peace with that. It's the look you see in your cloak all the time.
After looking at their face, I say, Samson, hold the scry. You might need that spell slot. Better to be prepared, correct?
Stefan says, looking at Oriana and saying to her, actually, information is very helpful. If we get this time zone, we may know things we weren't otherwise privy to.
What if the information can help us?
Oh, Stefan nods to you. Actually, that is my point.
Well, I was reiterating, trying to strengthen.
He nods. And he says, I actually, yes. Actually, if we're, I don't know if we're voting, but my vote is to scry.
It's to scry as well.
My vote is not to.
Samson, can you hold your own with your hands if you run out of spell?
Samson says, I know. But now that you mention it, did anybody take anything from Devil Bite that would be identifiable? I know we're a bunch of looters. Our slogan might as well be, give me the loot.
Did we take anything from Devil Bite?
Something that could lend credence to a song I might sing.
Sure, there. Midas says in his head, I'm sure there's something on the ship.
We need to go get his sword.
Oriana says, one thing at a time, Samson, please.
It's all the same thing.
We're currently figuring out should you scry or not today.
It's all the same thing.
I disagree.
If we have something from Devil Bite that can legitimize a song, we can put a stop, potentially, to attacks. We will be way less prone after all the work you just put in, and then we come back having killed Devil Bite. Or, well, are you guys comfortable saying we killed Devil Bite? Might have said no. Like you said earlier, we didn't see the body drop. Well, we saw the body drop, but not.
Oriana holds up a hand again and says, I have failed to see how that is relevant to if you're going to use a spell or not for scrying on this man on the moon.
Midas says to Oriana, excuse me, I'm sorry. he doesn't explain anything to the fullest. We've been through this with him multiple times. I think he needs to tell the Man on the Moon that we defeated Devil Bite, and then he can report that inside of his scrying, inside of his report eventually, so that way it gets around.
Why do we need this information to get around?
Because Samson heard that it could be, it'd be impressive, and Samson wants that to go around. You know how he is, Fox.
It's about security. It's about security.
Operating from a past where you operate without moves. I think that mentally X says, just watch what you say about my past, please.
I thought we were in our heads.
Okay, cool. As long as you said that in your head. I was talking out loud just now.
I thought most of this was out loud, actually.
Yeah.
No.
Me too.
Which part did you think was not out loud, Samson?
I thought this was all telepathic.
Oriana's been talking and responding to you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Strong pack today, huh?
I'm very tired.
But yeah, so X says, I just don't think it's best to win.
Oriana says, so wouldn't that be burning 2 spells then? Were you to go along with what you're suggesting?
Samson?
Okay, you know what? I won't do the scribe.
Stevan says, kind of holds up his hand. Actually, I think we were voting. We can finish the voting. Oriana is a voice, not the voice. And he gives her a look. Then she gives back.
I want insight on why Stevan wants this to happen.
Roll insight.
Roll insight.
Mm-hmm.
He just said information. Well, it might be more. You're right.
Greg's like, hey, man, he said he wasn't going to rob us.
Samson just doesn't fundamentally have the distrust of.
Oh, wow.
Actually, Stevan.
2. He's hard to read.
Natural 1.
He is. Stevan's hard to read. He always has been. But you do see. All of you kind of see a look between Stevan and Oriana, and it seems you kind of get the impression it's not the first time they may have had a conversation about her being a voice, not the voice. But she doesn't push the point. Where were the votes at? Stevan was yes. Oriana was no.
X is no.
X is no. There's 2 no's, 1 yes.
X is no.
X is no. There's 2 no's, 1 yes.
Samson's obviously yes.
Samson's a yes.
Midas is reading.
Midas
is just him now?
As far as the active people on the stream.
Okay. I didn't know if Logan was there.
He's not there yet, no.
Because he said it's the district. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Midas looks and he says, let's do the scry. It has been very informative, Oriana. We'll see if it is well today.
Oriana nods and goes back to eating her breakfast. Stevan nods. A little bit of a very small hint of a smile.
Now, before Samson does the scrying, he looks at Stevan, sees the little mini smirk, says, how long has it been since you last heard one of these?
He takes a deep breath, and says, actually, I've been rather focused on Sethret. It would be before we arrived when we were still on my ship.
Oh, so you have one?
He nods. Yes, actually. Not on my person.
All right, never mind. I thought it's cool. Samson does describe.
Okay.
Translates it.
All right. Let me.
Or I guess I should say broadcast it.
Pretty much. Okay. As you go through the process that you're very familiar with at this point of scrying, as always, your vision is pulled up and elsewhere, very quickly moving, as it were. And you see the familiar image of Man on the Moon pop in as he looks at your scrying orb as it appears and gives a nod and a smile, and you see him looking out to other, what you assume are scrying orbs, as he readies his book, kind of turns his chair a bit to kind of get the right angle based on all the various orbs, clears his throat, and says, welcome one and all, this is the Man on the Moon, coming to you straight from the moons. Hello Elestria, and good morning. We are in, of course, where are we? GL1 with your daily news. Things are getting interesting up in Riveria as the peak has returned. Not sure why, not sure for how long, but things should be interesting with the ambassador of Faust still there as well. That little town in the mountains getting more and more interesting by the day. Speaking of that town in the mountain, Avasarala continues her blockade of goods. The tolls get higher and higher to cross over her little blockade, though they are being paid in spades. It appears that Bavaria's income and their coffers just keep filling, to Avasarala's unhappiness, I'm sure. Speaking of her unhappiness, it appears she is still berating Sethret, funneling a veritable army of mercenaries to trouble some friends of hers that she is unhappy with. I won't say who, but I think they know. Speaking of Sethret, things just keep getting more interesting down low. Mezeric's little playpen just keeps expanding and districts keep changing. Though we have some new interlopers who have had quite the month stay, expanding the 2 districts and holding them thoroughly against all comers. I'm interested to see if anything changes. I do hear that the Mains are back in town. I expect them to get back to chopping heads any day now. Things move fast in GL1 as, that is where the world spins, depending on who you ask. I, for one, am wondering, will we ever find what happened to that lost village in the woods? Will we ever find where exactly a mead half full can be had still? I don't know if you've heard, but it appears their distributor has disappeared. I wonder where they will find their drinks now. We'll keep an eye on that from on high. But that's the news from the Man on the Moon. You all stay nice and frosty down there. It's going to be a cold winter. And he puts on the medallion and all the scries cut out.
Sorry, who did you
And give me he said the distributor for the meads half full has disappeared.
Oh, hell no.
Yes, this is a great story.
Y'all didn't want to scry.
Who didn't want?
I'm not talking to you.
Just Greg.
Just Greg.
I wasn't trying to single nobody out, but I was trying to single somebody out.
Name, man. Say his name.
So as Samson as reciting these things, and Stevan and Oriana are paying attention, very locked in. This is the first time they've kind of heard you do it, so they're paying most attention to you in that. And I'm not sure if actually had any reaction to it, if any of you guys had any visual reactions, but they weren't paying much attention to you all. They're kind of listening to the news.
No, X didn't react.
Okay. But as the news completes, Devon nods and says, actually, it's helpful information. Kind of shoots Oriana a look really quick, which she ignores. But you are aware she saw.
Gotta love bickering.
GL1 is what region
Especially
again?
amongst murder.
Where you're currently in. So if you go to found documents, there's a map of that. So GL1 covers Risquib, Riveria, Sethret, and the Thicket. And a corner of Sovereignty of Calcium.
Okay, I was about to say, so where's my girl at? Because she... All right, thank you.
You are aware she was not in charge of the ignobles. Not the ignobles, the iconoclast.
Iconoclast, yeah.
Though I don't think you've ever looked into or asked who is in charge of it.
I thought it was the tree until that was taken care of.
Things happen.
So, the conversation, Sansa recites that. Stefan says what he says. Oriana nods and says, well, I guess that means we can expect more mercenaries to come soon.
So, I guess we spend the day attacking mercenaries. At least tonight.
We'll have to get Haskin to find them first. There are mercenaries here who are on other business.
Haskin is who again?
Reporter Harry Haskin.
Gotcha.
And we also have to find out the information about those Turtle brothers, correct?
Yes. I can go further into detail about that. Although Haskin should be here soon. She does come in the mornings.
Okay. And when is that challenge to take place?
Whenever we level it.
Okay.
She goes back to eating, and Stefan says, actually, I do like starting the morning with the news.
This motherfucker, like, what the fuck is... Why is just looks at Stefan? What the fuck is up?
Do you say that?
No, like, you just give him a look, like, to the side, like, why are you acting like this shit is just, like, some coffee in a newspaper, like, chill shit, like...
He does look very relaxed, honestly.
Like, that's how Mike's looking. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
He doesn't notice it. He doesn't notice it at all.
Okay.
But
That's hilarious.
at that moment, Logan does come in. Morning, and he grabs a plate from the bar and comes and sits down. He says, did I miss anything?
Samson does what? He laughs?
Yeah.
Mike says, we got some news that there are more mercenaries on their way to attack us. There's a woman, the lead of some group or something like that. They've disappeared. Somebody who gives out glasses half full, meat half full.
Well,
Midas is just kind of giving him back like the news in his own fun Midas way. Different Midas way. He's just kind of stumbling it back to him.
okay. I gotta make a sticky note of you guys' passive perception so I don't have to keep checking these. 11 for Midas. I'm sorry for laughing.
I'll tell you, I was a good perception anyway. Get on my face.
14 for Samson. 14 for X.
Hey, swing with the monks.
None of you all are very high passive perceptions. That's interesting. I think Solora might have the highest with a 16.
Yeah, nobody has a high pass. I'm about to roll perception.
I would say Samson and X. You notice Oriana's eye went up when Midas said that. Correlated the Mead with an organization who's missing a leader.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll my perception.
On what?
Huh?
Perception
I
on
was
what?
gonna roll not Stevan, Logan.
Insight.
Insight. Okay.
Mhm.
It's not going well.
10. Logan's not hard to read. He kind of wears everything on his face. He's taking information in, kind of, oh, cool, more people to kill. Organization, I don't care. He seems to, cares about the immediate threats. Doesn't really care about, this organization maybe missing a leader. The majority of the news he takes in stride. He says, it's great to have you guys back, getting, information. Haskell keeps us pretty well informed about things here, but it's good to know more on the way. I kind of assumed, from what I've heard about Avasarala, I didn't think she'd stop because we killed some soldiers.
We're funding the war against ourselves. We need to find a way to stop that after we get done this.
Oriana looks and says, how do you mean?
Well, essentially, Assad is one of us.
Now, give me 1 second to put the dog. They're barking. 1 second.
Puppy dog.
So I'm going to say that the dog is... Assad is one of us, and he has the weight of the Misfits behind him, as well as the resources to be as important as he is and their nation is. And the fact that they are so rich, and they're going to stay rich because nothing can happen to them because we're here. And I'm not saying nothing can happen, like anything can happen, but like the likelihood of it is lower because we're around as well. He's a part of us. And so because of that, people are cool paying these fees because everybody is so up that it's like, man, take your little tax fee. You want to raise it from one, whatever the currency is, to 10? I got it. And through that, we're funding their operation, which is to take us down. So we're funding our own demise. That makes sense? No? Okay.
It's a thought.
I mean, outside of the bravado and shit, I can understand how paying the taxes is funding this.
Okay, I'm back. You were explaining, Samson. Go ahead.
I just think that, in a roundabout way, we're funding our own demise.
How so?
But it will not be our demise, Samson.
Oriana looks a smidge frustrated. Please take a step back and explain to me in what way you are funding our own demise. You are leaving a part out that would make it make sense.
The only reason why, what's her name from West Squid?
Avasarala.
The only reason Avasarala can skate by on these tolls is because everybody from Assad's nation can afford them. So it's not a problem. And because everyone up there is wealthy, what comes to them is making a cake Avasarala. If that makes sense.
Stefan says, actually, when I was working for Avasarala, we were not under the impression that Riveria was wealthy. I'm sure the deal has filled the nation's coffers, but I do assure you, Avasarala Risquip is quite a wealthy nation. I don't believe the tolls make much difference.
Makes sense to me. It seemed like they had money.
Risquip or Avasarla actually could fund a private army for as long as she wanted.
All right. Above board, did Brisquib come to the meeting that Anton called? Because I didn't think they did when he became tree.
I don't think so. Let me double check.
This hate is deep rooted.
I gotta go back to where I put those notes for that. It's been a while since I had to actually reference it.
It was a pivotal moment in the game. Like, I remember the sides. And being like, no, this is going to be important. Like,
okay, here we go. Ooh. No one came from Kelstrom. No one came from Gilovesto. The corridor did send somebody. They would have gone. I don't see where I wrote it, but they absolutely are wise enough to send an ambassador to that. Yeah, because they have an embassy there. They sent an ambassador.
all right, so what's the message that they got?
Everyone got? It was the message everyone got from Atrelion was, we're pretty much, he's restarting friend and foe. Those who did not show are immediately foe. Anyone who has any information on the Fae would be rewarded, more or less.
So when he said foe, he just mean FAUX. There's any fake.
But Oriana says, while Assad certainly does need to solve his border issue, I do not think it will, unless he makes peace with Avasarla and that quenches her thirst for whatever this is. The money side of it is not overly important, I do not think. Simply drops in their coffers. But we do have an Avasarla problem. To your point, Samson.
Savon, from your limited work with her, how does this go away?
Savon kind of laughs. Actually, I'm not sure how this goes away. She was insulted pretty thoroughly, publicly. I'm actually certain, I actually can confirm it did take a hit to her. I suppose record is the best way to describe it.
She got a big ego. Such a big ego.
This was actually quite the large deal for Risquib and the powers at B and the global scale of things. I think she would need some kind of actual recompense from the Misfits, from Faust, and from Riveria.
You should just take Riveria then.
I actually think that would not stop anything coming towards Faust or the Misfits. She actually views it as offenses from 3 parties.
Yeah, I don't know why she's offended by the Misfits, but whatever.
You all actually sat in her room in her presence, and as a group, did what you did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like a narrative thing right there to me. We had no power in that. At least I didn't. No, I have no power.
He shrugs and he says, well, you're actually still traveling with Salora, and you actually were until recently traveling with Assad.
Is there a way for us to get a message to Assad? X says in his mind, but he says it above board at the same time.
Which one is it?
No,
Do you mind?
The question is, well, I'll say it out loud actually. But we need Assad to equally take care of this problem. Actually, do you think she's attacking Assad as well?
I actually do not think. And he looks at you as you were saying the same thing. He points. Go ahead.
I don't think she's attacking Bavaria or us. They probably have a war on their hands, and then they would also have a war with False, I presume. So I don't think that'd be a good idea on her end to start a war.
Yes, Bavaria is actually on the Faust's protection at the moment. They are aware that Faust will only operate in the defensive form. So any direct attacks would incur or activate, I suppose, that strength.
So the loophole is to attack the Sunrise Queen?
I actually don't think she will attack. Well, I assume she's not sending assassins for the Queen. No. That would incur the wrath of the Queen of Faust and the Sunset Queen.
But when we have to deal with these mercenaries, they're going to go after the Queen because she's with us. They're going after us because we're with her.
Oriana holds up her fork. Oh, no, actually, Logan, middle of drinking his cup, goes, point of order. Tax didn't start till you all left. They may stop now that you're back, if her intent is, not to kill Salora. It might be. It might be her intent, but the attack didn't begin until you all left.
So right now we're in wait and see to see if your deterrent holds, and 2, if they stop just because we're back with Salora in our company.
He nods. And I assume everyone thought you'd be back with Assad as well.
So did we.
You all noticed that they all noticed that. But they nod. And Oriana says, well, for now, we will have to... Can anyone reach out to Tanner? Rather, is anyone willing to reach out to Tanner? These mercenaries are coming out the thicket. She would be the best informed.
That'd be a spell, but I can do it.
She gives a nod of a touche. It doesn't need to happen today. It doesn't need to happen today, but if we can get some line of communication going with her, we may be much better informed, and we may be able to head this off if she could intervene somewhere.
Okay. What shall I say to her? She and I don't necessarily get along eye to eye.
Menace. We're talking about Tana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Even though we're talking about Tana, who is my blood relative? You're closer than me through hatred.
At that, Stefan and Logan are kind of like, that's a good point.
And because of that, I'd argue that kind of better than me. So, what should we do?
Okay. Tana's a bastard who only gives a shit about herself and whatever affects her and her shit. Why would the thickets, people coming here attacking us, be a problem? Oh, because you tried to turn into a business type of place, and if they continue to do this, then it could bring bad business back to the thicket and make them look bad, like a thieves' den again. Because Sethret is actually a place of hell. Make sense, everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, the NPC is not along.
Somebody says,
fuck. Right, you with us?
Sending this in.
Huh?
Any words, Greg?
Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Right.
Okay, bro. Fuck it. He not with us, yo. Midas can't send it to Tana.
Okay.
Tana, mercenaries out of the thicket are coming into Sethret and attacking districts in Sethret. This could be bad news for the thicket. I know you want it to be a business place. This ain't business what they're doing.
There's a few moments before you get a response. She says, I'm surprised to hear from you. I thought it'd be Samson reaching out. I have noticed the uptick in Sethret jobs. It is pulling a bit of our manpower. Though I am okay with the type of business. It makes us a hub. And that's what she says.
Playing fast and loose. So Myers relays it back to them. She's saying that she's okay with the type of business it is and makes them a hub.
Oriana says, you did not make a personal ask. You did not say that we need her to stop it.
I mean, I could do that. Or, since they're a hub and they know what they're doing, we can send people to go fuck shit up in the thicket and cause problems both ways.
Logan laughs at that and says, who will be sent?
I don't know. We got people here that live in these districts. They're warriors. We promised them some positions, and we send them along their way.
Oriana kind of laughs a bit. No one in Nethermost would do that.
No. Down here in Sethret.
Oh. Logan says...
Right, they're attacking Sethret.
Oh.
We attack back at them.
This time, Logan and Oriana share a look. Logan says... I'm not sure how comfortable I'd be sending them to attack the thicket.
That powerful she is, hey?
That's a large organization to make an enemy of.
All right, and I will ask her, but I am not owing her any favors, Oriana.
This is a group ask. I assume the debt will be a group one.
Give her shit. I give her shit. There's no blank check favors either. If she wants a favor, she'll have to ask it straight up. So Midas sends back out. There's
Okay.
another spell around.
She kind of rolls her eyes a bit.
It says back out. Tana, we are asking you to stop these mercenaries from attacking places in Sethret. And who the Oriana names? She said herself, me, and who else? Us.
Say again?
Did she name any other names besides like herself and myself? Or
What?
she just gave like the whole group?
Oriana?
Yeah.
Like just
She
now?
was saying, yeah, she was saying it was like, there's an ask. She said you didn't say it was an ask from
You didn't
know,
say
you.
me, you, us. Like she didn't say, like essentially you didn't say either you might just need a favor, you didn't say the Misfits need a favor, or you didn't say Oriana needs a favor. You didn't like make it a personal ask.
Okay.
You made it a vague
Somebody says,
in your best interest thing.
Mine says, from Oriana and the Misfits, we need them to stop.
You get a much quicker response this time. And she says, I am honestly oh so surprised, Midas, that you could ask such a thing of me. It is very nice to see your growth. Now.
Midas looks at his hand where he had the brand.
She says, now, I could slow the mercenaries. I could stop the recruiting from the thicket. And I think I'm near 25 words. Okay. And then she says the sending to you. Right behind it. And she says, it would mean openly aligning with you all. Avasarala would know I stopped it. And she would know why. It is not a small ask. I would need not a small favor. Is what she says. And you can, of course, respond to hers.
Yeah. Somebody tells them what she just said. He says, I plan on telling her that I don't do blink check favors. So if she names one, then we can get on with it. Until then, we need to go on a fucking blitzkrieg of this whole fucking place. Take the entire thing and change the whole order up of this place.
Wasn't that the plan already?
X. We're not on a blitzkrieg when we're sitting here talking today, are we?
Oriana says, this is breakfast. We have a lot of day left.
And strategy is part of a blitzkrieg, I'm pretty sure. Take my word for it.
Actually, yes, it is. Logan says, we ain't really call it that up north, but yeah. Stavon says, well, Logan says actually, too many actuallys. Logan says, well, I guess the question is, how much is it worth to us not to have to worry about an infinite number of mercenaries trying to kill us? And what does she want? Is she asking us to offer up something, or does she have something in mind that she just didn't say yet?
I'm sorry. How long do I don't know if I have time for
you have some time.
Okay.
It doesn't say in sending how long you have to reply. We kind of keep it close-ish, but this is okay.
Okay. So she didn't say
how about
anything as far as what she wanted. So basically, I mean, I would think that she's trying to get a blank check, and I'm telling her that I do not do blank checks. So
go ahead, X.
Oh, I was gonna say, on a separate idea, this might not be something that will shut things down as quickly as Tana might be able to, but allow me to reach out to some of my friends that might be in that area. Maybe they could at least remove the messages from the boards that are posted.
Not bad.
Chris, you are muted if you've been talking. That happens sometimes, but I just wanted to. But Stavon says,
Yeah, I peeped it like 30 seconds ago. And the moment was gone.
I felt like you were probably saying things.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Get them next time.
Did you want to give any input on the blank check debt owed situation?
Nah, the
Okay.
moment passed without Samson, so
Okay.
it happened.
Stavon says, actually, maybe just ask her outright what she wants. Don't even broach the topic of a blank check, as it were.
Okay. All right, Stephanie. So, minus responds back to her sending. Oh, anything else? Was my sending?
No, you paused. I wasn't sure if you were asking a question or not. Go ahead.
No. All right, sends it back. Says, "What do you want, Tana? Let's not play telephone too long."
She says, you get a pretty quick response that begins with a chuckle. And she says, oh, you are getting good at this. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit proud. There's a pause. Oh, what a great sigh. There's a pause, and she says, what I want is a district of Sethret when you take it.
Oh, fuck, here we go.
You can pick which one. And she finishes it with, I have full confidence. The whole thing will be yours in a few months, if it takes that long.
Midas looks at the group and smiles. With the gritty teeth, he says, she wants a district in Sethret.
Samson just burst out laughing, like hands on knees. Just, it's really hilarious. And he's looking at everybody else like, why aren't you laughing like that?
Oriana says, I think she's serious.
That's the funniest part, Samson says. Mid left.
Logan kind of looks and says, is it worth it?
It's not worth it.
Nope.
Logan says, kind of scratching his beard, actually,
Merlin's beard.
are we keeping the district system?
Say we don't. Then what? What's the play?
Well, then we build a nation.
Stavon, oh no, who would say this? Oriana says, we could give her the. Hey, go ahead. Momentary pause, everybody. Tonight's session is brought to you by nobody.
Ah, man, get a glass of that nice cold nothing. Don't you love that nobody there to greet you when you're home? Big old hug from no one.
Oh boy.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Oriana says, well, we could give it the docks. She does have a merchant. What's the fucking word here? She does have a mercantile empire.
Why are we giving her something positive for her? What? I don't get that, Oriana.
She
Not a business of wanting to help Tana.
She kind of leans back a bit and says, you don't get that because you haven't been here the last 24 days.
Yeah, I don't get it. You have to explain it.
Samson overhears that and just kind of like shakes his shoulders and walks the other way, trying to get the ear shot.
You guys are all sitting down for this.
Well, when he hears you shrug your shoulder and just kind of looks away from Linus.
Okay, she says, I don't think we've downplayed it, but we have downplayed the threat that these mercenaries have been. Prior to wiping out the guild's foothold, they were a 24-hour nuisance, a risk. Should she send and establish another mercenary guild here, it will make it very hard to do anything we want as far as the other districts are concerned. They don't have to play by the rules, though they were. They were, at times, sending patrons to our establishments to begin bar fights, which spun off to legitimate attacks. Under the guise of a bar fight gone awry, to stay within the established rules. If Tana can put an end to that, that is worth maybe not the entirety of the docks, but giving her some kind of foothold here.
I don't understand. I don't understand why we wouldn't give her the most shitty position that we could give her, because that's all we have to give her. She's doing this, it's a tit for tat thing. So rewarding her is not something I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get away with giving her all that we have to.
Midas, respectfully, this isn't about you and her relationship.
No, it's not about our relationship, but we're trying to do something here, and giving her something that is valuable takes away from what we're trying to do. Giving anyone something outside of this group, something that is valuable, takes away from what we're trying to do.
So you
it's
get
not
what you
just
pay
that
for.
it's Tana.
You get what you pay for.
We don't have to give her which place we're giving her yet. She said we can pick. And say which one she wanted. Tell her she'll get a district.
X, you got cut off? Greg? I guess not. Stavon, Logan says, up north, we have a chief. That chief has those in his circle. They don't have land, though some do. Instead of giving her any territory, we could simply give her a spot in the circle. It'd be meaningless, as he'd always be outvoted, I assume. But it would be something.
What do you mean? She wouldn't get any territory, she'd just get a spot. She asked for a district.
He kind of smiles, a little wry smile. I didn't do much negotiating, but when I did, I always found people ask what they know they can't have first, expecting you to then give a actual response.
Yes.
While she asked for a district, I do not think she expects to get one. Giving her a seat in the room, as it were, would probably be enough.
So we say what? A seat on the council?
Oriana shrugs. Devon says, actually, is there going to be a council?
Fuck, man, you guys.
He gonna hold his hands up.
Republic.
I understand that I'm actually getting ahead, putting the cart ahead of the horse, but Oriana says
These are ideas that need to be expressed.
Oriana says, you can express to her that we have not decided what the governance of Sethret looks like on the other side, but offer her a voice in that governance.
Okay.
A voice is doable. My concern is having Tana painfully aware of some of the Misfits' moves.
The NPC is not to that.
One thing about Tana is she's loyal. She held water until Midas broke the spell. And she's
loyal to her.
Yeah. And as long as our goals align, he can be an asset. You just have to be careful of boundaries.
Stavon nods at that and he says, there actually is wisdom in making Sethret valuable to her. She does have a bit of a reach.
Okay, seems like you guys all think it's great to have Tana come along.
Oriana leans forward and says, I'll remind you, she supplanted Anton and myself. I have no love for Tana. I would be more than happy to take her head. It's not currently feasible. Her having a seat today does not mean she has to have it tomorrow.
Okay.
We could,
or
of course,
militarily, it serves us no purpose. Trying to blackball her.
Oriana kind of scoffs at that. And she says, Tana has her value, but she is a smaller fish than she thinks. And she looks to you, Midas, and says, we can always offer her something entirely different than what she asked, if you have any ideas.
What do we have for value?
Logan thinks and says, does she need anybody killed?
Oh, we've been down tunnels of finding people and everything like that. I mean, that can become a very long journey, Logan.
He nods. Yeah. Those
You
kind
saw
of
what
jobs
happened
do
with us
last
just
a
a
while.
minute ago. We've come back from doing some killing.
Stavon says, kind of rubbing his beard again, trying to really think. At times, actually, the pirate lords will offer alliances to other nations. That usually goes a ways in negotiations.
So what do we offer alliance to the thicket?
Oriana says, well, we could. If to go for pipe dream, should we succeed here and set up Sethret as a city, a nation, whatever, we would need to begin having treaties and allies and resources. Aligning ourselves with the thicket would be quite the pipeline.
Midas looks at Oriana and says, well, what if the tree wants to take the thicket?
Samson and X, you notice the slightest flinch at the mention of the tree. Not like a fear thing. That's a sore spot. But she says, she just flows naturally, doesn't miss a beat, and she says, then that be another conversation on the allyship with Fela.
X just after realizing that expression, says, Since we brought him up, how is the tree?
Let's stay focused on the topic at
My
hand.
thank you.
She says, softly, not snappingly.
We have to respond. X.
Understand. I just want to make sure that our friend and ally is good. We'll check in about him later on.
She nods and she says, what we can offer that does not give up any territory, she says, pointing to you, Midas, and does not put her in any rooms, and points to you, X, is a allyship with Sethret, a formal treaty of cooperation, exchange of goods, opening of trade, sharing of what may be deemed relevant information to our city nation and her stolen nation. She is on the cusp of the sovereignty's territory as it is. She does need allies willing to publicly back the thicket's sovereignty, as it were.
That sounds amenable to me.
I think that all of that is right. However, in whatever written agreement that we may come to, it has to be that obligation lies on the greater entity, not
On the who?
the greater entity.
Sethret, not us, basically.
She thinks about it for a moment and says, you are welcome to pitch it that way, but a deal with Phalai would be a deal with Atrelion. A deal with the Sunset Kingdom would be a deal with Shalora. It's semantics. She would come to us to be good to the deal, not to any appointed anyone should we appoint anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think I should point out, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Evanwoods have not claimed any rights of protection to the thicket. Tana seems to be on her own in that regard.
Yeah, I thought we been knew that.
Yeah, they don't really know what she's doing.
You're aware, actually, they're fully involved because you told your sister who sent Everard.
Yeah. No, the primes are. I don't know about. Well, I guess I don't.
Yeah, you did not get the impression that they would have kept that from the way you are aware that the primes operate. While they do move independently, the king and queen are not. They are informed of their actions.
Yeah, but like to a certain extent, like that kids of their parents, what's going on.
It's a little different when it's Tana taking.
It's not.
You would not think they would keep Tana's actions away from your parents.
No, not the grander. Like these are the bullet points, but I do think there's like little nuances.
Oh, absolutely. But as far as is concerned, you do know that laying down that's ours claim would come from the king and queen, and choosing not to do so would come from the king and queen. So Tana not have the everyone's being fully informed of Tana's actions, and no subsequent open acknowledgement that is an Evanwood territory now is telling. Because as the Evanwoods move very imperialistically, they do often say, that's ours. Fuck with them, fuck with us. But Oriana says...
Tana's not here.
Oriana says, I just wanted to make it clear that to harpen to the point that she does need allyship. She needs someone to ensure that the sovereignty does not absorb her. Prior to Atrelion's ascension, it was those who knew that while he was deposed, he was still there that stayed their hands. And I guess a general point of order that I guess I didn't really say. You all saw the fake image of, Prince Atrelion when you guys went to the castle that time.
Mm-hmm.
Tree Atrelion is not walking in the fake visage. He's walking in how he looks. So anyone who knew Anton recognizes him as Tree Atrelion.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is important to note. But Oriana says, I think the treaty is the best of everyone's concerns. And she looks around the Misfits.
I agree with you.
Looks to X.
No, I said.
Looks to Samson.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Looks to Stevan. Stevan nods. Looks to Logan. Logan shrugs. Says, I suppose we have an accord.
Okay, so what do we? Just to go back on it, I'm not fancy, Oriana. What do we call this? A treaty of cooperation? You said a formal treaty of cooperation.
Yes, that sounds right. We'll call it a. To fluff it a bit, we will call it a treaty of first right, the first of Sethret's allies.
Okay.
It gives the thicket a little more prestige should Sethret grow.
All right.
So these are pretty much our first deputies.
Allies. Let's not subjugate.
So Midas is all right, guys. I think I'm good.
Did we give this build?
Let Greg show you.
I just want to say.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that you asked before you say anything. I can't remember a whole bunch of stuff, so I don't want to go unless you're adding something into what I have to say right now. I don't want to go too much into things.
I don't know if
forget it.
Right
now. I'm talking about what I need to say to Tanner.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Go
ahead.
And X says this mentally. We need to make sure that we don't create any enemies by backing out or doing anything wrong with this deal.
This is what I was saying last night.
Well, why would we back out of the deal?
Because it's been done already, and that's why we have people coming at us right now.
This is what I said.
It wasn't me. The guy who backed out of that deal is not here anymore. So
no, all the people. There are still people and players within this group.
We will say NPC, so Lois shoots you a look.
Just need to make sure that we all know.
I mean, she's not the one that backed out of the deal either. You didn't back out of the deal.
But if someone comes along with a better deal and says we need to cut off our partner, let's not make more enemies. That's all I want to do.
No, son, you got
to make that generational wealth. If that decision comes along, and that's what that decision was generational wealth for your entire nation. Yeah, you know what? You just might have to not like it.
X is that's X's point that he's making, and that's all he wants to be known through the Misfits right now.
Okay.
Continue. Go reach out.
X is not doing that.
So Midas hit cast sending.
No, you're still replying. So you
Oh, I'm
good.
sorry. Yeah, he's replying. He says, "Yes, Oriana." Not Oriana. What the fuck? Tana. He says, "Tana, we offer a first right to allyship with Sethret and the Thicket will be Sethret's first allies. We take this place over, and then Midas looks around the room. That's it, right? That's it.
Oriana leans forward and says, mention it, trade deals, cooperation,
Gotcha.
Public acknowledgement.
Yes, and we will form trade deals with you. We'll cooperate with you guys, and share relevant information and your public acknowledgement of the Thicket.
There's a few moments of pause before Tanner sends a new sending message. And she says, my, how the Misfits have grown. That is a lovely counteroffer. Ideally, who will be the lords and ladies of, I suppose all lords, of Sethret, so I know who to hold accountable?
Mike says his name is X. He is the king of everything Sethret.
It's to be a republic.
Yeah.
Logan says, is it?
The Mad King!
I'd only say that that's not will be discussed. Are we giving this to the people once we take it? Keep in mind what kind of people are here.
No, we're definitely not giving it to people.
A council.
Is
There's
a
a council.
republic ever really a republic?
I don't give a shit what you're saying. You're not giving this shit to the people. That's what I'm saying.
It's a council thing.
In no way will we let power be able to be challenged.
We're saying the same thing.
Oriana says,
Now, you want to do it cutesy way. I don't want to do it at all.
the sovereignty pretends to be a republic. It is known, but it's not. But it does open them up to challenges with voting and change in leadership. Should the underworld has a lot of power there because the will of the people is paramount. Should it ever be used, I would not want to open this up to a strong underworld swinging these people any which way.
Exactly. This ain't that. Fair.
Logan says, I have no issue with her knowing I'm involved. Stevan says, I actually don't care about Tana one way or the other. She's no threat to me.
I don't care if she knows I'm involved either. I'm speaking to her.
Oriana says, I want her to know I'm involved.
It was me.
Entirely. Oriana says, no, actually Logan says, include Assad.
The fuck? Mike's looking around. And then he looks at it, Logan and says, okay, Logan, you gotta explain this shit to me.
The more he kind of Stevan says, actually Logan, just say it. You don't have to pretend to be some good person. Logan shrugs. Assad has an army. You throw his name in the ring, and his army's in the ring. His power's in the ring. His resources are in the ring. He's not here to say no.
Assad is a misfit. So I'll say the Misfits.
He nods. Oriana, she's eating, and she kind of slows a bit as he's saying that, and then goes back to eating at the same pace.
Okay, then I wanna roll insight.
Go ahead.
Please roll a good insight check, because I need a good insight check. Need to know what Oriana's thinking. Give me a good insight check. 13.
It didn't pop up for me. Let me refresh my thing over here.
It was a 28.
Over 28. 13. So, what you get with a 13 is there was a brief moment of concern. Like you're not really sure why or what she's concerned about with Logan having said that.
So Midas says to Oriana, in her head specifically says, what seems to be your concern? Speak freely.
She gives almost an imperceptible shake of a no. You catch it because you're looking at her. You get the impression that that's a conversation for later. But she says, wise counsel, Logan. But Assad is a misfit, and I do think Tana would have counted him anyways. So I suppose we're all in. Says to you, Midas.
Nice replies.
Wait,
what's up?
Okay. Should we confirm this with Assad?
No, X, stop.
Logan says,
What the fuck, man?
Logan.
There's a reason why I'm saying the Misfits.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Logan shrugged, though, and says, depends how close you all still are.
Well, he's all the way out in Riveria. We're here, so that's closer than Everwood is. So yeah, I guess we're relatively close.
Logan laughs a bit.
Midas says the Misfits, the leaders of the realm, are the Misfits, Oriana, Logan, and actually Stevan.
You get a quick response. You roped in the Mad King. Yes, the treaty is better than a district. I accept. I suppose we will iron out the treaty at a later date. I will do my best to stop the surge of mercenaries, and I will keep you all updated.
She says she'll do her best to stop the surge of mercenaries. She'll keep us all updated. We can iron out the details of the treaty at a later date, and she accepts. Oh yeah, also Logan, this Mad King thing keeps following you around. People just throw that shit at you. But yeah, she said we roped you in.
He shrugs
thought that was
and
a
says,
cool dig.
It's hard to lose a name once you get it.
I get it. Okay.
And right behind that, actually, says another message and says, by the by. Oh, wait, would she know this? One second. No, yeah, she would. She says, by the by, if you could kindly reach out to your Cloak and Dagger friends in town and let them know I'm acting in your interest, that would be lovely.
X. She also said we could reach out to former homies, becoming maybe current homies again, and let them know that she's acting in our interest. That would be good.
For some reason?
X, we don't need you to swell your balls up. I'm just telling you what she said. Clearly, they'll try to stop her if they think she's moving against you. You should feel some kind of kinship there.
If there's one thing I've learned is not to assume anything in this world that we walk in. Yeah, I'll make that announcement, but I want to know, has she been keeping tabs on them?
We keep going back and forth with this shit.
That's cool. That's cool.
Anything else, anybody? Because I'm about to just end this thing. I got.
The NPCs shake their heads no.
Well, Myers, would you be able to ask her if it's still up and running?
Yes, you can reply still.
All right, great.
Ask her if she's keeping tabs on them, right? That's what you want me to ask her?
No, ask her, has there been any conflict between the two, or is this just out of caution?
Okay. Myers replies back. He says, yeah, he's big shit. And then,
What?
he's talking about the Mac. She made the Mad King comment.
Okay.
Yeah, he's big shit. They said, have you two clashed? Have you and that group clashed? Or is it just something you want to make sure it doesn't become a problem?
She says, sending a new message, well, they were an active annoyance when I was sending assassins after your group. They have yet to make the connection between the mercenary guilds and the... Oh, sorry, she says, they had not made the connection between the mercenary guilds and things in Sethret, but recently they seem to be aware. There have been a number of conflicts with various guilds.
Okay. Minus releases this back to X and says, we're not going to have a whole conversation here with her X. You got it? All right. But yeah, we'll let them know, and then, you know, whatever. I can reply back to her.
Let me change that actually to say not a number of conflicts. There have been a number of disappearances of guild leaders and higher ups.
He said, your people been disappearing, people X. Fucking crazy bastards.
She said it was my people?
Okay, X. You know what? We know what the fuck goes on with your people. If she knew it was your people, would they be your people?
What?
Exactly. If she could tell it was the Black Order, then would they be very good at being the Black Order? Huh?
You're in my mind right now.
Oh, you said that in our head.
I'm making sure you talking in your head right now.
Oriana knows about the Black Order. You kind of said it every day, the first 15 days.
Is Devon still here?
Stefan's there. And so is
He doesn't know about it.
He doesn't know X was in the Black Order?
No, not yet. I don't think it does.
So then, I'm not going to say out loud if X didn't say. So
Yeah.
There's
an active grudge between Greg and Stevan. X.
All right.
One-sided.
So Mike's going to say, X, your homies, you know, they're pretty good at what they do. I don't think they would be, I don't think they'd be doing their shit like that if, you know, they'd be hanging with you if they weren't. So if somebody get easily pinned on them, then I don't think that would be, you know.
It's a town full of thieves, murderers, and the likes of them.
Not in the thicket. That was the axiom. That's the thieves.
Oriana says, even back in the Axiom days, we knew who was who. We knew who was capable of what. And when there were shifts when there was an uptick in violence, we could more or less know if it was newcomers or residents. If she's kept the same type of observations that we did, she'd at least have an idea. And as she mentioned, your friends have caused her trouble in the past. So I do not think she lets them wander unseen.
Correlation is not causation.
Midas is just going, yeah, I'm cutting off all this shit with X right now. He's playing games. So then he sends back to Santa. Sounds good. Will do.
Okay. He sends no
And
further
then Midas
messages.
is going to say, he's going to look at X and say, who should I send this message to? You know, one of them doesn't like us, or me very much at least.
I have to. Don't worry. I'll tell them.
No, you won't. X, come on now. I mean, it doesn't have to happen right now, but
Yeah, I'll tell them.
X, I can't trust you on this. I said I would do something.
It's gonna happen
I need to at least know when you're doing it. Like,
tomorrow.
when you're doing it, I want to be with you. No, not tomorrow.
You don't have to be with me when I do it.
No, X, I need to be with you. 'Cause I need to make sure it gets done. Like this can happen, right? X, look. Let me tell you something. This can happen right after we leave this room. And he says in his head, I can talk to whichever one of them, just say what it is, then you can do whatever you're doing later. I just want to make sure this happens.
Let 9 know.
Okay.
Oriana looks between you two. Is it settled?
It is.
Good.
Maya says, excuse me for a second. And then he walks up into his room, runs up there and says, he casts sending to 9 and says, hey, we just talked to Tana. There have been people trying to attack X and us, and she's working in our favor to stop these people. That is all.
You get a quick response. I was under the impression that I was clear last time to stop talking to me. Reach out to one.
Fuck it, I told him. And then Midas is going to come back down. Head to X's head. X, I told 9, so I did my part. You need to go tell 1 tomorrow because she said she was clear that we shouldn't be talking to her. But
Correct.
I made sure that it happened.
But you told the leader, so you're good. But I'll relay the message.
Yeah, to 1. Yes, please.
I did that on purpose.
While Midas was up in his room, Oriana looks at Samson and X and says, are there going to be many instances where group conversations splinter off to private ones?
It will not be the case.
She says that to is Devon still in the room?
Yeah, everyone's in the room, but she's looking at the Misfits.
No, not at all. Just
Not at all. And
brain dump.
Does Oriana know the whole thing with X and Devon?
Yeah, she kind of chastised him a bit. I don't remember if she knows that Devon is on his little list, but she chastised him not recently, but about hunt and kill of the being pointed at a target and being used.
So Midas says to her.
Midas is in the room. She did this she's talking to them when you went upstairs. Yes. You're not in the room for this.
Cool. Yeah.
And she says, you all have been gone and you all have your own way of doing things, but we have tried to keep things that concern all of us amongst all of us. I don't know who your friends are. Does she?
She knows the Black Order. We just talked about this.
No, I'm talking about the cloak, not the Black Order Lodge. I'm talking about, is she aware that his cloak is in? Is she aware that they're talking about X's old cloak or not?
Oh, I don't know. That's on you to decide.
I mean, I would think that she would assume that, yeah, but I mean, it's on you that she assumed that they were talking about them.
I'm trying to think where she's been in. No, because she was in. She was in the thicket axiom when the cloak was actively stopping assassins, so she is. She says, "Your people are your people, but as this is a part of the treaty, that is a larger connection. I would simply ask that, while of course your private business is private, maybe with things that concern us all, we all hear what is said."
That I respect.
She nods. Midas comes back down and rejoins and says what he says to X about his people. Logan says, he kind of looks at Oriana. Oriana doesn't say anything. Logan says, Midas, next time can you just do that in front of us so we're all on the same page, if that's okay.
Yep, will do. Sorry about that.
Stefan says, actually, it's not that big a deal, but just, thank you.
Yeah, if the group wants it, that's what I'll do.
Oriana, looks at both of them a little annoyed. But she says, all right, we have seemingly solved the mercenary problem. Over breakfast, no less. Productive start to the day, I think. I do believe we will try our best not to engage in any heavy combat today, as we did ask Midas to use a good deal of his abilities.
Fucking conversation, no less. Diplomacy. We'll call it diplomacy.
She nods. And she says, is there any thought to when we want to continue our outreach?
Misfits, how much rest do you feel you need?
Just a long one, X.
Huh?
Tomorrow.
Just a long one. You can say it.
We're saying the same thing. Tomorrow should be good.
Do we want? Logan says. Esteban says, "Do we want to actually levy the challenge today or tomorrow?"
I think we just wake up bright and early with that energy.
Logan, still eating, says, if we do a day of challenge, it can be done. It's a little rude. We can do it.
All right.
We can do a day of challenge here. Take a nice little rest.
Mhm.
Not even start the next morning, but middle of the night. Get 8 hours, good and early. We come right back at them. And this time, we're expanding. We're heading out.
I mean, it's not. Logan says, I mean, it's not going to be a them after we win the day of challenge. That's that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to.
More than.
We're just taking the leadership. We're not killing the people.
I thought we were killing whoever wanted to be killed.
It's just
Whoever wanted to be killed. What the fuck is that?
Logan kind of laughs a bit and says,
Want to be killed.
I mean, yeah, but taking the district, we just got to kill the leaders. And, I did have to do a little bit extra in my district, but I don't think that's common. Oriana says, well, all right. Early in the morning, we can go and levy the challenge. We'll do it publicly. They'll accept as they are established, and it would look weak of them to push it a day. They have generally, from what I've been told, fought with only 4. We have changed up, personally, the 3 of us. How many we willing to take and challenge, I do not know if they will follow suit.
That's to keep someone alive. Interesting.
Well, I simply mean, are we going to fight them with 5 or more than that? From the reports Harriet gives me, or has given us, they are quite formidable. I do think...
We fight with. How many can we fight with?
As I said, I'm not sure what standards they will hold us to. The 3 of us fought as many as 15 at once. If they are willing to do the same, I suppose we could fight with all of us. I will say, based on what I've heard, they are stronger than any of the domos were. Granted, domos had other resources, and we did not have this kind of open conflict situations, but...
Truth and the demos were collectively or individually, they're each stronger than demos. And then they form up the super demos.
I believe any one of them could potentially kill any one domo should they fight them one-on-one honestly. Though I do want to note, and I failed to yesterday or last night, I've noticed you all have gotten much stronger, and I do not know if you are aware, but your strength is on par with what the domos were.
Taking back the thick.
As you all have been informed by then Anton, those domos are, of course, leaders of the wall cities. So it is not... They do not need to be... they have had little cause to continue their progression of strength for a long time now. But I suppose I was off topic. I did want to let you know that.
Right. Awesome.
But I think those 4 brothers may prove a challenge to any 5 of us.
To any of our 5?
She nods. Logan says,
Wow.
I could kill him. To which Oriana says, and how many of us to be dead in the process? Logan kind of, he looks up a little darkly, and he says, ideally, none, Oriana. To which he says, we can't make plans on your ideals, Logan.
She's still salty about that little scratchy scratch.
Scratchy scratches don't leave scars. To which he says, I need not be in the fight if you're afraid, Oriana.
Ooh. I said, hey, guys. I mean, I haven't been a part of his attack before, and I know that it can leave scars. But if we're going to continue to do this together, guys, right? We should keep our heads on and do it together.
Oriana kind of leans back in her seat and says, we can fight them with 5. We could potentially win with 5. If they would allow us more, I would suggest we use more.
I'm not sort of kind of asshole who is going to be cocky about it. Question, why did you guys fight 15? You didn't need to.
Stavon begins to answer, and Logan says to send a message to make sure they understood just what they were getting into challenging us. To be certain that they knew their numbers meant nothing in the face of us.
Gotcha.
And Oriana kind of sighs and says, fatigue. Kill 15 at once, or fight 4 every day, over and over again. We thought we could take them. We did.
You did.
We got days of peace.
Makes sense to me. There's some gambling bastards. Yeah, I mean, if the turtles shall allow a fight with multiple, they want to fight a bunch of us at the same time, then sure. Last time they knew anything about us, they knew how strong we were before. So maybe we don't show ourselves to them until after the challenge, and they accept however many they will fight.
Well, at least one of you will have to come with me, or whoever it goes to challenge. While we do have some protection from our titles, as previously mentioned, myself, Logan, and Stavon have been going into districts with grim intentions. So if just one of us, or 2 or 3 of us, walked into their headquarters, as it were, they may not see it as us coming to make a challenge. They may see it as something else entirely.
Okay.
Say again.
Oh, Saeed, I think it's you.
Yeah. What's up?
It was like a lot of clanking. I was like, I hope
Oh,
everything's
my bad. I'm sorry. I'm putting books up. I apologize.
She says, but we can figure out in the morning who will go and who will levy this challenge. We will see what numbers they allow. and we will pick from our roster, I suppose. I suppose it goes without saying that we have already crossed the threshold of district leaders fighting in other districts' fights. And so I don't think that's a concern here.
All right. Well then, I will accompany you, I guess, tomorrow, unless someone else prefers to, or we think it's a better person to accompany her.
Where's this town located? I can't pull up the map right now.
The district is above us.
All right, so we're landlocked.
Well, all the districts kind of technically are. They're all it's a large city and it's split into districts, but there's no legitimate. There's no fences or walls or anything between them. It's just known where the line is, I suppose. Logan says we should just all go.
All right. Cool.
He nods. And he said,
How's your power levels?
he says, while things have calmed down and while we have gotten the promise of Tana to deal with the mercenary problem, anything that was already in motion is already in motion. Just because the dome, as I think mentioned yesterday, the district leaders have no real concern of what happens in that district, so there could be people in wait. I don't want to send 2 or 3 and they get attacked by numbers.
All right. You guys know the territory better than us at this point, so I will defer to you.
He nods and he says, "Yeah, that's a district we haven't had to go into, so I'm not fully sure what to expect there, but we can talk to Haskins and see." But as you all finish your breakfast and these plans are made and the treaties sold, put into motion, we will call a session there.
All right.
As the
All right,
Misfits
guys, I gotta go.
spin back into action.
There.
All right, good session, everybody. That was fun. I feel like Chris is asleep. No, unmuted. Okay, that was fun. Fun, guys.
Did y'all hear me? Are we
No.
still recording?